The beauty of social is that people are engaging on social platforms, and I think a statistic that we talked through earlier today, about 30% of people like a brand on Facebook over the course of sort of the last 3-month period, which is pretty impressive. And in those cases, I think essentially users are saying, I raise my hand and say, I like your brand, I identify with your brand, and I'd like to hear more from you. Which is pretty powerful. So there's an opportunity when that like takes place, obviously. You have more perspective on the profile of that individual, and you can start to really tailor your messaging to those fans, which is a pretty powerful proposition. Social is sort of coming out of the sandbox, and it's coming to a place where marketers are having expectations for its ability to drive return. And to measure that return, you really need as much data as possible. So there's a definite sort of thrust towards how do we get more data out of social, and that's one of the things that the Wildfire team, working in concert with Google, is really focused on. So we're working really closely with the Google Analytics team, for example, working really closely with the DoubleClick team to start to understand how you can integrate digital data from sort of across the web, across and into sort of the social ecosystem, in order to start tracking clear conversion and having a sense for how ads are complementing social efforts to ultimately sort of drive success. And I think there's another sort of element that will come out of that, which is social, where you see a huge amount of sort of very personal sort of customer data locked up that will enable digital marketers to do more interesting things sort of across across the ecosystem. So not just targeting within social, but certainly across things like leveraging social data to target across email, ads, on-site, etc., which will be really interesting.